Hello, my name's Tiffany Kohr, and I'm going to be presenting The Cry of the Children by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. To start off, we'll be talking about her childhood. She was the oldest of 11 children. During her childhood, she read a variety of books. Some of them included Greek and Latin language. In her early childhood, she was in a wealthier part of town because her father owned a sugar plantation in Jamaica. In 1832, it shut down, which caused them to have to move to a different community because her father could not support them anymore since he was the only supporter of their family because their mother passed away. At a young age, she suffered 2 injuries. At 15, she had a spinal injury, and then later on, at 23, she broke a blood vessel in her chest, which caused her to have a lifelong problem with her illness. From the injuries that she did have, she was bedridden for most of her life. Her family cared for her and took most of her financial burden on her, so she was able to focus on her poetry more. She wrote letters back and forth to various authors, one of them including Robert Barrett Browning, who was her husband. They had to move to a warmer climate because of her health. They shared one son together, and she ended up dying due to her injuries on June 29th, 1861. The time period that she grew up in and wrote in was the 1800s. The 1800s was known for the Romantic period. Some of the poets that wrote in this area are Emily Dickinson, Robert Frost, John Keats, and Walt Whitman, as well as a few other known poets. She did write about the celebration of love, which is on the background of this screen, which had some of the Romantic period descriptions for regular poetry on this for this time period. Unlike most of the other poets that I listed and the other poets that wrote in this era, she wrote about other themes, such as slave trade, oppression of women, and child labor laws, as well as a variety of other things. She was not afraid to talk back and let society know that what they're doing to these people is not right. The Cry of the Children focuses on child labor laws. In the 1800s, children worked in very cruel and harsh conditions, working 12 to 18 hours a day, 6 days a week, 50 to 70 hours a week. It was just horrible conditions, and you can see many history books about a boy pushing a coal chute up a hill. It was known that it was just not good, but nobody was speaking up to it. And in the poem, she describes how the children are weeping and crying because they don't have a regular childhood, and that's what she wants for them. One of the most impactful lines is, "It is good when it happens, say the children, that we die before our time." It's saying that the children would rather be dead than keep working in the conditions that they're working in. And in writing this poem, she's trying to help society realize that something needs to change, that someone needs to do something so that these children could be happy. In today's world, we now have the Fair Labor Standards Act, which has minimum ages depending on if you're working full-time in school or what age you are, which is great, but I feel like we could be doing a lot more. Yes, children aren't being forced to work like they were, but the amount of teenagers and the amount of young adults and even older generations that have to work so hard to achieve a minimum line of income based upon society's growing society is not compatible. We are working so hard to achieve these goals when they cannot be obtained. We need to do better and realize that society is growing and that we need to grow with it and not leave people behind. which is another point of children refugees. We see it in the news all the time that children are being killed, whether it was intentional or not. They're still dying because we are not opening our borders to those that are in need, especially the children. If we have the care to accept them, then why not? I feel like this poem can go along with society today because we need to open our eyes and see that the things we're doing wrong is not the right way to live. Thank you for your time, and I hope you enjoyed this presentation.